Hello everybody, I'm Renocio, and today I'm gonna draw a thing. As someone who grew up on the SNES, the Sega Genesis, and PlayStation platformers, I was a little bit hesitant to try Horizon Zero Dawn, but boys, it was the coolest. I'm a little bit late to the party, I know, but being as the second game is supposed to be coming out soon-ish, I figured there's no time like the present to jump on the bandwagon and start doing Horizon art. I've actually done a couple of doodles for this series before, trying to get the character faces down, but Aloy has continued to elude me. But I have come upon a recent source of inspiration. You see, I've recently discovered the YouTuber Rachel Maxey, I'm actually not sure, sorry, and found myself in the middle of one of her videos doing a double take because she looked so much like Aloy. I was only further delighted in the discovery that she has in fact done an Aloy cosplay, and it's beautiful, and I'm having feelings. But with an Instagram feed full of poses and my brain locked on Aloy mode, I figured, why not try to combine them? Long story short, today I'm drawing the title character from Horizon Zero Dawn based on an image of Rachel Maxey. So with that TLDR out of the way, let me just say that sketching more realistic looking faces is extremely difficult. I'm very new to this. This is a little bit of a learning curve. I'm discovering it's especially difficult to draw realistic human faces based on reference and not just freehand, and I had a lot of trouble with that here. It's one thing for your brain and your eyeballs to see what a face looks like, and it's another to translate that to your hand. It feels like it shouldn't be difficult, but it really is. Being as I was having such a hard time just getting the face correct, when I realized that the pose wasn't quite right, Aloy's head wasn't tilted back like Rachel's is in that image, I was kind of like, whatever, I'll leave it. There were a lot of pictures of Rachel that I could have based this off of. Honestly, I could have picked out one of her actual Aloy cosplay photos, but I really like this one she did that was, I think, Anne of Green Gables inspired, especially because flower crown. I really like the idea of using flowers that are in the Horizon Zero Dawn game, so a lot of these are the medicinal plants that you pick up, or the ones you use to make potions for elemental resistance. I did simplify the designs to make it a little bit easier to draw so many, and I kind of wish that I'd made the flower crown fuller, or that I'd drawn more flowers, but you boys lazy and this was already taking me a while. I thought about drawing Aloy with the 2 single braids that Rachel's got going on in that photo, but because I wasn't really sure if this looked like Aloy, I figured I'd err on the side of caution and draw her with a more canonical hairstyle. Likewise, I loosely based her clothing on the Carja outfit she's got going on in this little reference image, although the details are mostly made up. I wasn't going to get too into the weeds with making everything specifically canonical. Also, the outfits in the game are like super detailed and gorgeous, and I didn't know that I had the willpower to draw all that. And I decided to save myself some trouble in drawing the scale mail of this armor by copy-pasting a single line that I'd drawn, which I did on a separate layer so it was easier to erase where I'd overlapped my line art already. I went into this with absolutely no idea of what I was going to do for the coloring. I chose to reference initially a lot of the color based off of the screenshot and the photo that I had on the sidebar there. But as I started getting into the coloring and into the shading, I thought it'd be kind of fun to add a cool color contrast to all the reds that I knew was gonna happen here. Also, as a little bit of an experiment and a little bit of a time saver, I thought that I would just not blend any of the shading in. I wanted to leave these big blocks of colors just to see what kind of effect it would have on the overall image if all of the shading was like that. I think subjectively it's up in the air as to whether or not it even looks any good, but I had a lot of fun with it. I realized I had a little bit of a problem in coloring the flower crown because most of the flowers in the game are red or orangish, and that was mostly what I chose, and then Aloy's a redhead, so it was a lot of the same color going on. in the same area. I did try to contrast it by throwing in some greenery and then some of the bluish purple flowers of the freeze rime root, but if I were to do this again, I'd probably throw in some shock wax root and like get some more yellows and blues and very contrastive colors going in as opposed to all this red. I had no idea what the hickey hecky I was going to do with the background, so I started with a gray based on the car interior, and then I was like, nah, let's throw some color in there. Many slashy lines, a blue shade layer, and then a yellowish luminosity layer later, and Aloy was as good as she was gonna get. Anyway, I hope you guys liked this as per usual. Let me know what you think. And if you want to hang out and see more of this kind of stuff in the future, feel free to stub Scooby, and I will see you in the next video. Okay, bye!